Bandai looked at the Destiny Gundam and said, what if we turned it up to 11? And honestly, I'm here for it. The MGSD line has somehow raised the bar yet again. Hey ghouls, Alan here. I'm back from the dead, which can only mean one thing. I've finished the degree. I think we should celebrate with the MGSD Destiny Gundam. A spectacular kit, a really cool kit, and I'm excited to get into it with you guys. But before we do, we're nearly at 150 subscribers. It would be great to hit that ASAP. And if we hit 500 before August, we'll open up the Perfect Grade Unleashed new Gundam, which I've been saving for the occasion. Alright, no more fuss, let's get into the robot. So here we have the MGSD Gundam. Somehow a stealth release for me. I thought the Kshatriya was the next release in the line. Anyway, the Destiny here is a spectacular build from start to end. The MGSD proportions really work in the Destiny's favour to create the perfect mix of tough, fierce and cute. Probably the most impressive kit in the line so far, with great articulation, awesome gimmicks and accessories, and stellar engineering. But it's not perfect. Let's take a closer look. In terms of appearance, the Destiny looks incredible from the tips of the V-fin to the tips of his toes. The exaggerated proportions allow for so much extra detail and depth, including the MGSD staple of clear, stickless eyes, which catch the light so well, and the visible metallic sheen and the text of the V-fin. Moving down to the torso and arms, the first thing that sticks out to me is the beautifully soft, semi-matte finish of the blue armor, especially in the shoulders. Throughout the building process, I thought that maybe the arms and shoulders might be too big and gorilla-esque, but he's not a gorilla. He looks proud and noble. The legs and waist are also very clean and cute. The tiny legs and massive calves hidden under the giant skirt pieces work so well. Though, with how small the feet are, he does look and behave a little top-heavy at times. Finally, onto the backpack. Unfortunately, permanently attached to the torso, meaning it can get in the way of posing and add massive weight issues. Visually though, they look absolutely incredible, folded up or spread open. They give the suit a majestic, angelic feel. And a unique feature of the MGSD version of the Destiny, the wings spread further out, allowing further extension to the included wings of light, which, I gotta say, is sick as all hell. All in all, the MGSD Gundam looks spectacular from any and all angles, and with the wings of light attached, could be the centerpiece of any display. Jumping into articulation, despite the size of his honker, the Destiny has a great head and neck movement, with super emotive and expressive head tilt and can look up high, great for flying poses, and look deep and low, great for grounded poses. The shoulder movement is great here too. Of course there's 360-degree rotation with the arm and full bicep rotation too. You can usually go straight out 90 degrees with the arms. There's also a very deep forward butterfly pivot, which allows for two-handing weapons, and also nearly 90 degrees of up and down rotation, allowing for the shoulders to rest however you'd like. The Destiny has an amazing deep elbow bend, only somewhat hindered by the shoulder armor. Just below that is a cut, which allows for full rotation of the wrist. Then you have another cut in the lower wrist, which allows for about a 45-degree bend. Now that turns him into gorilla mode. The wrist is on a ball joint, giving typical wiggle and rotation, which then connects to the hand via C-clip, which allows for inward wrist movement, which is very nice. Finally, the fingers are all ball jointed. The thumb is separate, while the other four are molded together. Unfortunately, some of the fingers float within this structure, which means you can't disconnect and separate the fingers. The ab crunch moves in two places, and combined with the head movement, allows for almost straight looking down at his toes. Below that is waist rotation, which also features a hinge which lets the Destiny really arch its back. Jumping into articulation with the head here, we've got a really expressive rock back and forth, super emotive. We've got a very high looking up and a very deep looking down as well. Almost straight down at his feet, which is pretty magnificent in my opinion. Next onto the shoulders. With the wings out of the way, you do of course get your full 180-degree spin. You've got a bicep twist, and they can nearly go out probably about 40 degrees, 45. And the shoulders can go almost 90, I'd say. So you can angle them in whatever way you'd like. Moving down the arm, we have a pretty deep double-jointed elbow, which is only slightly hindered by the elbow articulation. Below that, we have another rotation at the wrist, which is nice. And then below that, we have a very deep bend for the arm guard armor, which is very cool. The hands are on a ball joint attached to a C-clip, which means you get some good rocking forwards and backwards as well as the typical rotation and ball joint movement. And the hands are a little bit limited. You've got 3 connected digits, 1 pointer finger and 1 thumb. And usually these digits you could disconnect, but they're only connected here by 2 ball joints. So good luck with that. In terms of the waist, you've got a crunch in 2 positions at the lower and at the upper, so you can get a pretty deep bend. And also he's got a joint in the waist as well that lets you bend forwards and backwards and rotate as well, of course. So the skirts make it pretty easy to get out of the way, which is nice. You can get nearly 90 forwards and nearly 90 back as well. There's also a rotation here at the upper bicep, but at the upper thigh, but it's a bit tough to get all the way through. And then you've got a double bend at the knee, which is pretty deep as well, and of course the armor separates, which is very cool. You can see some of the exposed inner frame in the knee as well, which is very hype. And then down to the foot, starting off with this bit, you mostly just get a bit of rotation. It is on a ball joint, but you know, not too much. You've got a bit of ankle tilt as well, left and right. And I discounted this initially, but you do actually have kind of a deep bend if you can get around it, which is alright, I think. And then backwards, it's pretty good too, I'd say. Oh, not really. But then we've also got this kind of ball joint here that can come out a little bit, so you can drop the foot down lower, and then the foot also arcs in, crab claw mode, and you've got almost a 45-degree toe bend as well. Very cool. And as I noted before, all of this would work great in conjunction together if it wasn't for one problem: the wings. Especially with the weapons attached. The wings are quite limited. Besides the fanning out, you really are pretty limited in the articulation. They have a bit of up and down tilt, and a bit of wiggle, and some rotation too, but that's so limited. So as well as being a mess, they can't articulate, so frustrating. Yes, the wings folded out look spectacular, but they are very, very heavy. And if you pick up this kit, I would absolutely recommend an Action Base 4 or a 7 at least. On to accessories now, and we have quite the selection. A beam rifle, 2 varieties of shield, physical and beam, 2 beam boomerangs with 2 pairs of beam effects, the Arendite beam sword with effects, the beam cannon, and of course the wings of light. The rifle is pretty standard. It's got some nice part separation in the red on the sides of the weapon and on the scope, but it's clean, and all of the accessories fit neatly into the hand through the little T-shaped post in the hands, which can also be folded out to reveal the palm of Fiocchina beam cannons, hidden in each palm. A very cool detail, but there's no effect parts for these. Both shields are great too. I love the detail in the physical shield, and it's simple, but I like the extension feature the most. The red accents mix well with the yellow, grey and black. This just plugs into either forearm with the rectangular peg. The beam shield is also really cool. The flare and intensity of the energy aura stuff is spiky and erratic, but it is a bit finicky to equip. You pull out the yellow gem on the wrist from the top end with the tab, then pull out the bottom, and the shield friction fits on quite snugly, but prying the gem out stresses me. Next up, the boomerangs are awesome. They fit neatly into the shoulders of each arm and really complete the silhouette of the Destiny, even more than the wings. They fit in either hand with the same T-shaped holes and can be wielded facing up or down, and the larger interchangeable blades add an extreme intensity to any pose with these guys in hand. The beam sword can be found stored in the backpack, and once unfolded, is an absolute behemoth of a weapon. Almost 1.5 Destinies tall when fully extended, and holy moly can he hold it. The Arendite beam sword looks great in the classic two-handed Obari sword pose, but he can also absolutely tear the battlefield up using it with just one hand, with no weight or stability issues coming from the shoulders, elbows or wrists. Next is the beam cannon, and again, this thing is just massive. The only accessory without a hole for the T-peg, this weapon simply slots in between the gap of the peg and the hand. I have to say though, it's a pretty fiddly process to get there proper and snug. The way the handle is, this can only be properly wielded in the left hand, and again, presents no weight or stability issues with the arms at all. And finally, the wings of light. These fellas are absolutely spectacular. Like I said in the intro, Bandai turned them up to 11 with this release. The intensity of the wings is just amazing, and end to end, nearly 50 centimeters in total wingspan. What the hell? and I guess the instructions aren't the clearest on how to attach them. As stated previously throughout the review, the only real problem and or letdown of the MGSD Destiny are the weight issues stemming from the backpack. An action base is 100% must for this guy. Other little things to note are the complicated process of installing the effects on the wings and installing the beam shield onto the wrist. And finally, with just how compact this little meatball is, it can be quite easy to start banging parts together against other pieces and things getting caught or snagged on some of the more extreme angles. Sticker-wise, the only inclusion with the kit is a set of optional marking decals. No eyes, no crotch V's, no colour correction at all. Hell yeah. I always love this inclusion of any kind of extra markings or decals, but unless they're water slides, you always have a yucky border without proper prep and clear coating. In terms of size comparison, here's the classic high-grade RX-78-2. We've got our Blokies Defender Series Optimus Prime. We've got Majin Buu. We've got a typical Master Grade. And why not 01. Before we get into my final thoughts, I just want to give a huge shout out to the new types over on Patreon. This review was brought to you by them, and honestly, their support helps so much. It helps me keep making videos, pick up new kits, improve the channel, new equipment, and spend more time creating content for you ghouls. If you want to support the channel a little further, Patreon is the best way to do it. You'll get your name in the credits, behind the scenes content, exclusive phone and desktop wallpapers, early looks at upcoming projects, and soon, livestream builds and Discord access. So to my current new types, Ains, Chris, Eloise Violetfire, and Lord Lucky Cat, thank you. You're all absolute legends. Alright, now let's get on to the final verdict. So final thoughts, the MGSD Destiny Gundam is really spectacular. It takes the Destiny and turns it into a fierce little gremlin. From the build, to the accessories, the inner frame, and the wings of light, whose presence absolutely nullifies the balance and weight issues. I can absolutely recommend this kit. The only stipulation being, make sure you grab an action base along with it. If you're a Destiny fan, I think this is an easy win. And if you're already collecting the MGSD line, this is also an absolute win for you as well. And if you're not usually into the SD kits, I think this is also a really solid choice, especially with no stickers. So yeah, the MGSD Destiny Gundam gets a big recommendation from me. If you enjoyed the review, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what you think of the kit. Are you going to pick it up yourself? Do you think it's the best one of the MGSD line so far? Or are you still waiting for something else? The Kshatriya. Don't forget, we're getting close to 150 subscribers. It would be great to open up the perfect grade new Gundam for you guys. Thank you again to my new types, and thank you for watching. I'll see you ghouls next time.